Yeah, so here we are. I thought I was recording. Today is Christmas Eve 2024. I got this piece installed. Oh, and I don't know if I updated on this one, but I fabricated this battery tray and put this army rucksack strap in there. It came out pretty cool. And it's actually on the sheet metal. I welded a small piece of chain link there and down there. You can see the bit of chain, but yeah, I'll show that later. And army strap, and it's okay. It's not the greatest, but hey, battery won't fall off. Okay, so today we got these guys installed. Brand new headlight buckets, I don't know what they're called, and I got the floor, the vinyl installed on the driver's side. Now it's all glued up. The glue is just settling now. This side actually came out pretty nice. I got all the rest of the material here that I'm gonna need to continue putting the inside back together, the doors and all that stuff. So that's where we're at today. Tuesday, December 26th. Got the mirror mounted in. Once the mirror is in, this is just the frame. Frame is put in, and you can see there it's got some whatchamacallit, seam sealer both sides, right? Still got to come back and do a little bit more finessing here. I'm gonna have to trim this down so that it clears this right here. Got that little scratch mark right there, but this is as best as I was able to get it, and that's in there pretty tight. So now what I'll probably do is just shave it off a little bit, just enough so that it clears this, and still maintain the integrity of the of this little structure. I don't know what it's called. Okay, so that's in, and installed the new piece of plastic here. I don't have an original one, but I have this really thick construction stuff. It's probably just as good as the factory stuff that they got. And put some seam sealer. I didn't have anything else, so I just went with the seam sealer. I didn't have any of that tar-like material. I don't know what it is. So it's drying right now. It's still setting. And then once it's fully dry, I guess I'm gonna have to come back and test it and make sure that it makes a good bond with the plastic. Hopefully it's not like a burrito in wax paper. It just slides right off. Good adhesion is what we're looking for there. All right, then reassembled all the inside parts. So I got this going to the lock, to the door latch. Punched it through the plastic, and I got the window installed, and the window is in. See that plastic glass there? All right, and then I went in here and I finished cementing the rest of this. I'm getting some wrinkles in it, looking like a bulldog, but yeah, it's probably gonna be as good as it gets here. What I observed is that the contact cement, unless it's really soaked on the vinyl, it doesn't really get good adhesion. It's not like factory quality here with this, which sucks. Yep. So observation here is that the contact cement, and I'm running low. Maybe it's because I was running low and I spread it thin. But in areas where I put it on thick, here, it was like a puddle here. But it's like still not the greatest adhesion here. It's all right though, it's good enough. All right, then we started disassembling that door because we're getting ready to put in the mirrors there, and ran into some more surprises. Let me show you. Surprise here is that where the old mirror was at, there had been some previous work done, and it was actually even welded. You see those welds there, and it was welded there, there, and there. And I don't have the time anymore to cut out this panel and make a new one. I'm not doing any more fabrication work. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm putting some rust neutralizer, because it did have a little bit of rust going on under the Bondo, and it's pretty thick too. You can see the cake there, and it's probably about maybe about a 16th or maybe a 32nd of an inch thick, which is quite a lot. I can feel it with my fingertip. It's a lot. All right, so we're gonna neutralize the rust there, and then start filling this in with Bondo. I'm gonna go with Bondo, and in the future, what we're gonna do here is just replace the doors. Replace the doors completely. So looking for doors. All right, another update. Today is December the 28th, Thursday. I believe it's the 28th, and I got another surprise today. Noticed a crack here on the roof, and there was rust coming out of it, so I cracked it open, and sure enough there was rust right here. And so now I'm putting some of this Loctite rust neutralizer, and I'm gonna put some Por 15 over it, and then smooth it out with some Bondo. I'm not going to cut this open anymore and do any more welding, not right now. So that is going to be the fix for the moment. Maybe at some point in the future, it's not that bad to get in there and just replace this patch panel right there. It's probably better to just take a section of roof from another truck. Okay, what else have we got going on? I got the mounts for the tow mirrors on the top part, and the holes drilled out on the bottom. So those are the holes right there, measured out, and it's even with the driver's side. And see the driver's side there, it's looking really nice. It's pretty much even there. Yep, height and everything. All right. The only thing is that I'm waiting on a rivet nut to arrive. It should be here today, so today we should be able to put this back together. Also applied a little Bondo and sealed up the hole here from the mirror that was on here. Smoothed it out as best as I could. Pretty smooth. And covered up the holes for the lower mounting part of the bracket. Just sealed them up with Bondo, nothing big. It's not going to be anything fancy or show quality. We just need it functional. So that, got a coat of primer put on. You can see I patched it up there. I mean, I masked it there so that the primer doesn't get on the rubber seal. Door panel is there. It's waiting to go in. I did some repairs on the door panel. That corner right there where my finger is pointing up there was all frayed. So what I did was I sandwiched it between two pieces of plywood, put some wood glue on the on that backing material, and pressed it with clamps between two pieces of flat plywood. Got it nice and flat, and got it to come back together. Got the blanket there that is going to go up here. All right, so that blanket will go in a little later, and the floor is pretty much done. Just all the shit that I have out here is from finishing up this here. So as soon as I get this rivet nut, I could pretty much continue moving forward with it. I guess in the meantime, what I will do is I will start assembling the grill and get that grill on there. All right, so that's where we're at today. More updates to come later. All right, today is Friday, December the 29th, I believe it is, 29th. And we got a couple of coats of Bondo put up here. That's sealed up. I showed the video earlier where we had rust. I removed the rust, got it down to the bare metal, sprayed some neutralizer on it, okay? Rust neutralizer. Put some Por 15 over that. And then once the Por 15 had dried, which was this morning, I came in and I put the first coat of Bondo. First I sanded down the Por 15 a little bit just to give it remove the shine on it, so that the Bondo has something to adhere to. Put in the first coat of Bondo, let it dry, sanded it down. Second coat of Bondo, let it dry, sanded it down. And now this should be the final one right here. And now I'm just shaping it. All right, it is a little thick there. I really don't like it. The best thing to do would be to replace that section of roof there. All right, so while that's drying, I'm moving on over here and I'm getting the grill ready. The grill has the Toyota emblem, so I'll show you in a little bit what that looks like. And I've ordered these right here, grill retainer clips, and they look like this. Get one out. Right here. Okay, and they go in here like this. Let's see, looking at the camera on my phone. I'm assuming that this is how they go, because when they removed the truck, it didn't have any of these. I mean, when I removed the grill, it had none of these. Let me see. Get in there a little closer and see this. And this is what I noticed is that, see how it has those two little dowels sticking out the side, and it's got those little where the dowel should drop into. So that's how I'm realizing that these clips go in like that. All right, and then on the front side it takes a screw, so I'll show you that in a bit. So I'm gonna finish installing all the retainer clips. Got nothing to grip there, got nothing to grip here. This one's a little busted, but the rest of them are in. So where we don't have retainer clips, material for retainer clip to grab, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do there. Like probably that one right there. Closer look, see it's got no material for it to grab. But all right, so stay tuned. I'll show you in the next piece. Yep, so here we are. Grill is in. It's not secured yet. It's not fastened, I should say. But these is the clips, and some of the clips, they're a little off center. You can see, like for example there, that one is not seated right. This one is seated perfect. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top, and 1, 2, and 3 at the bottom. Where's that third one? Right there. Yep, so grill is coming together. Saturday, January 30th. Just had a little storm come through the area. I finished this up last night. This is what we were working on yesterday. So what did we do here? In the previous video, there is a big cut coming along that right there where that little line is at. Damn, what the hell is that? Oh, it's my dirty fingers. Fuck, I'm staining the primer already. All right, anyways, big old cut right there where that line, where my dirty finger streaked it. And then exposed the rusted metal, grinded down to the bare metal, sprayed some rust neutralizer on it, let the rust neutralizer sit for a couple hours. After the rust neutralizer, applied a coat of Pour 15 rust stopper. After the Pour 15 dried, following day I came back, and that was yesterday. I started applying the Bondo over it and sealed it up. And the reason why I needed to be fixed was because there had been a previous repair done here with Bondo, and it had cracked, and through the crack water was seeping through, and I noticed it because the crack was rusty. So it was like this big old crack, and I could see rust stains all along the crack. So I chipped away at the Bondo, and I stripped it down as far as I could to the bare metal and around it to where I had no more no more rust. So you can see that in the other video. And here I am today. I did this last night. I had work lights going here, and now that I'm looking at it, it came out pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed for a little patch job. I would have much rather preferred to replace the section of metal than to grind it down to the bare metal and neutralize rust. But given the where I'm at today in terms of budget and not really wanting to pour too much money into it, doing it for as least as possible, that's been the the principle here with this rebuild is to do it for as little as possible. And I don't want to shape metal. I do have a piece of sheet metal over there. I don't want to shape it because what I learned is that about every 2 inches of patching that goes in with sheet metal is really about 4 hours worth of work averaged out. And I don't feel like doing all of that right now. So this is where we're at. What else did we get done? Well, we got the grill put back in and the bumper. Okay, coming together nicely. Toyota emblem. This right here was another required some modification. Why? Because the Toyota emblem, I'm not sure if it's the emblem or the grill itself. There's a screw that screws in back here, like right around where the T's at, in between the T and the O. All right, and where it screws in on the bumper itself, it had a nipple sticking out, and that's where the it's got like a column where the screws into a shaft, I guess, a hollow shaft, where this to grip on, for the screw to grip on from behind. And behind here, let's see if we could open it up here. Show you. I need 2 hands. Don't mind the camera right now. Let's see if I could show that here. Okay, here we are. Here we go. Right there. Where my finger's pointing at, that screw right there. On that side, there's like a nipple. And the nipple, you can see it right there. It's that section that's blacked out. Like you can see the light coming through, and then the light doesn't come through. That section right there is that nipple. All right, so that nipple was sticking out, and it was pretty much flush with the grill. So what happened? It caused for this Toyota sign, Toyota emblem, to stick out a little bit like that. So it wasn't flush. In order to get it flush, I needed to bust out the Dremel. Let me show you what we did here with the Dremel. So I got this little Dremel tool, and my Dremel, left it out in the rain last night, but good thing it was in the box. Dremel tool, got a little bit of water in there, has this attachment. This attachment attaches to here, and there's a special bit, and that bit was, which bit was it? This one right here. And so I was able to place this on the surface of the grill and give it a few passes with this bit on it to grind it down, just like if I had it on a XY table or a router. And so I had to grind away some material there, and after grinding away the material, this Toyota emblem now sits nice and flush. That was another modification that I ran into. I don't know if it's the grill. Is it the grill because it's an aftermarket one? Or is this an original Toyota grill with an original Toyota emblem off of a different model? I don't know. But if you ever run into that situation, that's how that was resolved. Okay, today, where I was getting to is that today after the storm, I found water seeping in through here, and I know that this has been a weak spot. That's why I double tarped it last night. So here's 1 tarp, 2 tarps, double tarped. But you know how it is with the water. The water always finds its way. The water never lies. The water will always tell you, hey homeboy, you got a leak right there. Let me show you. Sure enough, I had to remove this trim panel here, and the water is coming in through here, and I could feel a little bit of moisture there, but it pulled up right up in here. And I think that that's also the cause of why I was getting a bubble here after the last storm. I think that the water went down this way. The water's always gonna go to the low spots, right? So I think that the water went down there. And when I was blowing it with the heat gun, it got hot enough that the water was starting to evaporate and causing bubbles to bubble up right there. So, moral of the story here is that I need to get this windshield fixed. ASPP, mijo. Once that windshield is replaced, we're gonna have to run it through the car wash again to simulate the rain and see if we're still getting that water leak right there. That side was fixed. I believe that the water, the last time we had rain on that side, had leaked in through the crack on the roof that I bonded up. However, I don't have proof solid yet, proof positive, because there was no water there. It was dry. It was covered under the tarp, so I'm gonna have to run a rain test on this thing later. What did we call it when we would test the heat exchangers back in the day? Hydrostatic test. So I'm gonna have to hydrostatic test this baby once it's back on the road. But here we are, it's coming along. Today I'm waiting for the little pieces that go in there. Ordered like 30 of them for about 12 bucks. Amazon. Should be here a little later today, then we can put this back together. What else? Mirror went on. I had to modify it with 14 millimeter bolts off of my parts bin, because this was originally like a, I don't know, 9/16 bolt, like some really weird shit, like stuff that I'm not used to, old American classic stuff. So I think these are, they even have a, what does that say right there? Looks like it says Bell Bar Products. Bell Bar Products. It's like from the 70s, and it's from Pittsburgh. And so this right here, this piece, I'm not gonna fuck with, because it allows for the mirror to pivot. I would, yeah, I'm not gonna fuck with it. I'm just not gonna fuck with it. Okay, anyways, so that will remain 9/16. Everything else is all metric. Oh, and this remains American standard, because it's integral to the mirror. Unless I remove this and start welding shit, I'm not gonna fuck with it. Can't rethread it unless there's an insert, but nah, fuck it, my mind's going everywhere. Okay, so the other thing that I noticed now is that these mounts, I tightened them up as tight as I could, and they're still loose. So I need some sort of collar to insert there to make this thing work. What else? I guess today I'll also apply the seam sealer and seal this up. So I could remove this guy. This guy's only hand tight right now. So I'll go ahead and remove that. I did tighten it up down there really tight, nice and snug. So I might just let it hang. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, the point is that I gotta seal up those two right there. And fuck, my shop vac went out, so I can't vacuum out that water that's there. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about that water. What else? Fuck, I guess ready to put the seat back in. Oh yeah, headliner. I think it's gonna be headliner time today. That's what we'll do. Okay, so stay tuned for the next. All right, got that roof liner installed, headliner installed. Yep, this is a Saltillo blanket, sarape. and it's brown, so it matches nicely with the truck. Pairs nicely with the truck. And it's not, I didn't bring it over the way the original headliner material was. The original headliner went right there and it made it all the way to the top of the door, and then it came down to the roll cage and all across this section right here. So I don't know how Toyota did it. Oh, and it even came down up to, yeah, all of that. Anyways, I don't know how Toyota did it, so I just EVA foamed that top section, cut it out, shaped it, and now I've tacked it on with this material here. And this is the last of it. This is the Super 77. Yeah, that's it. So that part is done now. Now to continue putting the inside together. All right. So I wanted to capture this really quick before I put it all back together. So right now I am reinstalling the headlights right here and the side markers right here. And I'm noticing that as I'm doing that, everything's getting covered up. So let me get this really quick. Battery tray. Okay, this battery tray I fabricated out of a piece of sheet metal. I don't know if I captured that, and I was looking earlier and I couldn't tell. Okay, so how do we make this? We made this with a piece of sheet metal, okay? And I'm trying to get the angles as best as I could here to capture this on video, but you can see there, okay? I shaped it based off of the original and exactly where the original went. And once I had like pretty much the shape of it, I did put angles on it. I put ridges around the edge so that way the battery doesn't slide off the edge there, right? On three sides. On this side over here, let's see, does it see it? Yep, it's right there where you see that strap grabbing onto. And also right here where the strap is grabbing onto, right there where I'm pointing, so you could see the ridge. Okay, that had to be welded onto the sheet metal. And it's also another piece of sheet metal. Okay, so I built it with those ridges around the three sides. I don't need one on that back side over there because there's nowhere for the battery to slide out that way. All right, then it's a piece of chain link off of a chain for lifting an engine, and I welded it onto that angle so that way I could give the strap something to grab onto. Okay, I had to figure this out because I didn't know what I was gonna put, and I had this old rucksack strap, and I figured, okay, based off of this rucksack strap, shoulder strap, I could go ahead and fabricate something, some sort of mechanism to hold it in place. So that's what we went with. All right, then what happened was when I removed the old battery tray, and I don't have the old battery tray, I wish I did to show here, but when I removed the old battery tray, this fender was pitted, rusted through in some sections, mostly where we had the tack welds. Okay, some parts were still good. So what I do here, okay, so on the top side, I stripped it down to the bare metal. I gave it the old rust treatment. What treatment was that? That was the rust neutralizer and Pour 15. Okay, after removing all the rust as best as possible with the wire brush. Okay, and the rust was going down all the way up into this radiator support down here by the headlight. Okay, I had really bad rust, and there were some areas where I could not get the wire into, so I just soaked it in rust neutralizer, and that's as best as I could do for now without cutting it open. Okay, so the other option would have been to find me a donor truck to cut out pretty much like this section right here, this corner section, separating the fender. It would have been from like about right, actually from where the body mounts, right here, because this is really like probably one of the worst areas on the backside. So from right here up this way, and then about up to right there, that would have been the section to cut. And I just don't have the time or the truck to go get that from. So this is what I had to do. So after removing the rust, then I went ahead and applied some rust neutralizer on the bare metal. After the rust neutralizer, I applied a coat of Por 15, and that's this black stuff that you see here. It encapsulates the metal nicely. It's almost like like a marble, almost like glass, but really tough. So I encapsulated the metal in Por 15. Then I applied a little bit of white paint on it just to match it up with the fender. Don't really care too much about matching it up exactly, just, you know, whatever. And the battery tray, I painted it red because the truck is pretty much white and red. Painted the battery tray red just to give it a little bit of style. It's more for style, but really the functionality behind the paint is to prevent the battery tray from rusting out. And there's no plastic tray. I didn't cut it out for the plastic tray. Fuck the plastic tray. I'm fine without it right now. Okay, then the last ingredient to this is that because the metal was rusted out, I couldn't weld in it. I wasn't about to start welding on the metal. So what I did was install rivet nuts. And the rivet nuts are pretty easy to order, easy to install. Drilled some holes out, actually right there where the tack welds were. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. Not where the tack welds were. These were the original tack welds. So where the original tack welds are, in between them is where I put the rivet nuts, and I think I only put 4, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see, it's 1, 2 right there, and then right there's the third one, 3 and 4. So really only 4 mounting points to that thing. And this, so these rivet nuts give me a way to attach a bolt, to fasten a bolt on my battery tray. All right, so you could see the rivet nuts, you could see the bolts here on the top side. There's one right there. Shit, really poor. Okay, 1. The other one's right there, 2. See that? The 4th one is right there, 4. 3 and 4 right there. Okay. Then the other thing too is in fabricating it, I had to give it some relief cuts. Relief cuts allow for the metal to bend to the shape, and right there where those relief cuts are, I'm not welding it, I'm just leaving it alone. It just needs to be good enough. It doesn't need to look pretty. And let's see, and that's pretty much it. Por 15, okay. And then down up in this area right here, I mean, without removing and lifting up the body from here, this area right here was pretty bad. I could still feel all the roughness in it. I couldn't get in there and brush out all the rust. So I shot it with rust neutralizer as best as I could. Por 15, and let me get a light because that looks shitty. Light, here we go. Flashlight. Let's come back over here. All right, and there we go. That's better. And yeah, so you could see that the rust didn't really come out as best as it could. Okay, so now if I wanted to repair this correctly, I would have had to cut out pretty much all of this black section. Remember, this right here is separate from this. So this comes out. I could unbolt this all along the top, and then we would have this separately. Okay, so pretty much everywhere where there's black is Por 15. That would have been the section that I would have had to remove in order to properly fix this. Would I have liked to have done that? Yeah, I would have liked to have done that. Do I have the time to do that? No. Is it critical? No. So therefore this will be left alone for now. I don't have any plans on going beyond that. And Por 15, I put it on the underside, and I also seam sealed everything, all the holes, so that the water doesn't come over to the other side. and pour $15 of this to protect it from water, because this is an area where driving in the rain or driving in wet conditions gets wet pretty bad. So that's pretty much it. This is what the battery tray fix was, as quickly and as best as I can describe it. So for those of you with rusted battery trays, this is what I did, and it's working out, and we're gonna be okay with this. You know, sometimes there's the best way to do it, to fix something, and then there's the optimal, original, or best quality way of fixing things. And you know, with the time that you have and the materials that you have and your skill sets that you have, you got to take all that into account, and budget, of course. And in my case, it's not that I don't know how to weld in panels. That's not the hard part. The hard part is the materials. I just didn't have access to the materials, and if I did, is the time and materials on this one. So that's why we did this here. All right, stay tuned. All right, today is January the 3rd, Wednesday. I got the seat installed. I got the seat wrapped in a blanket. Seat belts in. Now I'm looking for the steering wheel. I don't remember where I left it. I strapped on the new, this thing's new also, so replaced it and strapped it in. Okay, I took it out because the original one would get stuck here, and it was really hard, and I couldn't take it out of the turn signal when I would be in a turn signal, and it would just stay blinking forever. So that's why I replaced that. Okay, and I don't know if you remember in the previous video, I had to cut this and weld it here. Where the welds are? Right there. I guess I could remove the blue tape now, because it was angled too far in. I mean, too far out. It was something like this. Like on there, first gear was like way over there when we were being first gear. So I took that angle out of it, I straightened it out, and now from the driver's seat, first gear should be a little more comfortable. And that's first gear right there. All right, so now it's a little more manageable. Looking for the steering wheel. I finished putting in seam sealer along the edges here to keep the water from going down under from the top side. Anyways, so let's see how that works. So I'm looking to put it back together. Next, we're gonna get into the front suspension. Oh, the front is on too. I need to go in there and plug in all the plugs, but all this is on. V-lance, I got to put the V-lance back on, but I didn't want to put it on until I get this thing covered, because the fender might have to come out. This is where the antenna goes. I got another antenna mount, but it didn't fit, unfortunately, so it's not the right size. I don't know if they make these in universal. And what else? I got to grind these out right here. Grind these out. Mirrors would be nice if they sat a little higher. That's about as high as I could get them right now. I might have to remove these guys and bend them up a bit to bring the mirror up a little higher. And then if I do that, I'm gonna have to expand this guy or open it all up again, and it's a big hassle. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just put the little concave mirror down here and use this lower section for the farther reach mirror. But I guess looking at it from here, it sits all right. It's not bad. Okay, what else? I'm ready to go get that windshield replaced. Oh, the cab lights. So the cab lights ran into a small problem with them, so I've ordered new connectors that go inside the cab lights, inside the light fixtures themselves. I'll capture that in another video, but reason is that now that we're coming up here like this, and the wire is gonna have to bend. It's gonna take a bend from where it sits in the fixture. And when I started bending them, the wires were so old and brittle that they cracked. And the cracked wire exposing the copper inside could cause for a short and eventually a fire, and we don't want that. So I've ordered replacements for those. Hopefully I could get a nice 90-degree bend in them like that, and without the wire breaking. All right, this is the power coming up to the cab lights. So that's also next coming up, and that's it for now. Today is Saturday, January 16th, and I've got the windshield replaced. All right, new windshield. Got it back on the road. I just threw the original 5 lug tires on there so that I could take it to the window shop. I got the whole front grill put back together. Drives really good. Drives really good actually. And you can see there the front grill. One of the problems that I'm having right now is some sort of electrical problem. I haven't had the chance to troubleshoot it yet, but what happens is that as soon as I connect the battery, it's ready to start. So it's got power to all the accessories ready to start. So I got to get that figured out. I have on order a new ignition switch, which is that thing right there. Ignition switch, also the cylinder for the keys, so it's on the other side of that ignition switch, and the cover for that steering column cover. Doesn't match the color, it's in blue. It's all right, not a big deal. So that is on order right now, and right now I am going to try and troubleshoot. I have an idea of what it might be. I noticed that there was a ground wire that was broken, so I need to fix that ground wire. And another thing too, the mirrors did come out a little low, so when I'm driving it I have to tilt my head down a little bit to look into my rear view, which sucks. It should sit higher. I'm not sure if I'll get an opportunity to fix that, but maybe I'll come back around and have to rework all of that whole door shit that I did there. It would suck if I do, because I'm gonna have to open up the door cards, door panels, remove the plastic, remove the windows, re-drill holes, cover the holes that are there. It'll be a pain in the ass to do all that. Also, the cab lights at the top are on order. Little connectors for the light bulb sockets. So those should be here any minute now, and hopefully that will get the lights back in service as well. January 6, 2024. Almost ready for sale.